Botswana's former president Ian Khama says his family is being persecuted in his home country. He alleges that his twin brothers Anthony and Tshekedi Khama have been arrested in an attempt to harass his family. Last year he fled Botswana and sought refuge in South Africa. He joins us via Zoom now in order to speak to us about this. Mr. President, thank you so much for your time. Can you tell us what you know about the arrest of your brother?
Yes, this took place the day before yesterday, on Friday morning, in the streets of the capital in the streets of our capital. What happened was about 5 vehicles came and cut off my brother's vehicle, and about 15 men armed with assault rifles and pistols jumped out of their vehicles and rushed towards him while he was sitting in his vehicle, pointing their guns at him. One of them tried to break the window with his fist, which sounds very ridiculous to me. I don't know how anyone could break a window with his fist, but apparently he made 3 attempts to do so. Then got him out of his vehicle and took them into detention. And whilst in detention, in the first night, they were put in 3 different police cells in different locations. And one of them was describing to me that the one police cell that he was put in a cell where there was no bed, no mattress, no blankets, no lights. A dark cell, and expected to sleep on the floor, which of course he had to do. Can you imagine a 64-year-old man, innocent, totally innocent, because now they've been released, put in that condition. And this was done. This was done on the express orders of Masisi. And this was told to me by one of them, because one of the security agents who was dealing with them informed him when they were alone that I was the target. This was done to get at me. They had nothing at all on them, and it was on the express instructions of Masisi.
Now, Mr. President, if I may come in there, pardon me, if I may come in there, Mr. President, please pardon me. I mean, listening to what you're saying, it doesn't sound like you are none the wiser as to what charges they are facing.
And that's a very good question, because I asked them after they were released, I asked their lawyers, are there any charges? No charges have been laid. This was just designed entirely to harass them. Entirely. And they were denied access to lawyers. One lawyer was allowed in for 5 minutes only, just to greet them. He was told he could only greet them and he must leave. The lawyer tried to say that, first of all, do you know that in this country, in our laws, the intelligence service does not have the right to detain any person. If you want to take up an issue with any person, yes, you can arrest them, but then you must immediately hand them over to the police with any evidence or information you want the police to investigate. And they refused to release them. He said, also as a lawyer, I have the right to be and consult with my client. They said they would not give him that right. And when he saw his client, my brothers, for those 5 minutes, the lawyer demanded, as per the requirement, to be left alone with his client to consult. They refused to leave the room. And this is the situation in Botswana today, where there is a total breakdown in the rule of law as perpetrated by Masisi.
And you voiced your concerns, quite loudly about what is happening in Botswana, especially, with the leadership. You've also called on the leaders in the SADC region to intervene. Has there been any response?
Yes, I don't want to go into too much detail in order not to undermine any past or ongoing efforts, but there have been attempts. And all I can say to you is that the response from the other side, meaning on the Botswana side, they have not been coming to the table.
How do you see?
There have been attempts inside our own country. There have been attempts inside our own country to do the same. The latest being a delegation asked to see Masisi 4 months ago from the area that I came in, a group of elders, 4 months, and they've received no date or response when they can meet him.
And how do you see these issues being resolved?
I really do wish I had an answer to that question, because people have tried and failed. People are trying now as we speak, and they are failing. I have said, I'm willing. There's no kind of situation like this, whether it's between people, individuals, countries, where discussion and dialogue cannot resolve the situation. We have seen it. It even happened right here in this country, in your own country, that there was eventually a coming together, an admission, but the best way to go forward is to sit down at the table and talk. But you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
All right.
So if he's not willing to sit down and talk, I can guarantee you that this is going to continue right up until the time he's removed from office, which is going to happen in the next 2 years or so.
All right, Mr. President, thank you so much for your time. We'll continue to monitor developments around the story very closely. That is former Botswana President Ian Khama.